So this will start us off with the first up-and-coming podcast of the iCompete Natural Federation. Hopefully an ongoing podcast or interviews of athletes and up-and-coming sort of champions. But what better way to start us off than the kingpins themselves? We've got the chairman Wayne and Tony. So
hey guys.
Do you guys want to sort of, maybe I'll start with Wayne.
Sure. To everyone that doesn't know me, my name's Wayne McDonald. And if you do know me, my name's Wayne McDonald. It's great how that works. But yeah, I've been running bodybuilding contests since 1991, so that's 26 years.
Wow.
So I ran my first show when I was 29, and this was the first natural show in Australia. So, and it developed from a pressure cooker situation back, almost 3 decades ago. Whereas in Australia there was no drug-free, drug-tested contest. So. For the natural guys that were around, they had no choice, and they were getting frustrated at the possibility. And at that time, I had my own Australian bodybuilding magazine called Reps, which I'd been doing since I was 23.
Yep.
So for 6 years, and I needed it would give me Australian content to put in the magazine if I had my own events. And the first show was the Australian title, started at the top. And I was the INBF then, Australian Natural Bodybuilding Federation. And so it was an enormous success. I had 83 competitors at the first show, and which a bodybuilding show 3 decades ago had 30 competitors. So this was about triple the size. So it really shocked everyone at the response.
Yeah.
And I had competitors come from all over Australia. Drug-free guys were needy. They flew in for this one opportunity. It really then changed the dynamics of what I was doing as a business, because shortly after I stopped doing the magazine I ran the magazine for another couple of years to help expand the concept.
Yeah.
But then after that I dropped the magazine to concentrate on this, and really at the time there was no professional full-time promoter of bodybuilding.
Yeah.
And I spent 5 years at university studying everything from philosophy of sport to physiology of sport. So I had a different business acumen that I could throw at the sport.
Yeah.
And to really bring in some professionalism. And when I started off natural bodybuilding, it was 1 year drug free. Because back then, they said natural bodybuilding was going to be a car with no wheels. It was going to go nowhere. So to give people the belief that go off drugs, this is going to happen. We went 12 months drug free, and one of the good things that happened back then was that the guys that were using gear really supported it. My first contest, we caught 2 guys failed. Yeah, okay. And I thought they might get a bit of a hero status, really showing the naturals, and they got shunted in their gym. Yeah. The other guys that were using thought that was just weak ass.
Yeah.
And they had to leave their gym.
But that's what you want in a natural federation. They need to have that type of hit.
Yeah.
If they didn't have that reaction, it's sort of the natural federation just wouldn't have had that takeoff.
Yeah. So that was great that the guys on the other side of the fence were supportive in their way, the right and wrong.
Yep.
So that really helped the sport grow.
Yep.
That there was that, do it the right way, whichever way you do it.
Yep.
And so that really helped. So then I went 1 year drug free, 2 years drug free, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years.
Yeah, right, okay.
And 5 years later we were 5 years drug free and stayed that point forever. So we went through some development stages with different organisations, and up to this year 2017, where we believe in Australia we have the best blueprint to run an organisation, and we back that up with the proof that we're the largest bodybuilding organisation in the world, except for the INBA in America. We have a blueprint and a philosophy that's been fine-tuned over 26 years, which is delivered with as much professionalism as we can. And so with the blueprint and with the $1 million technology we've got in iCompete, which competitors don't see the behind the scenes things, what that platform does.
Yep.
Is quite amazing, putting data and information, communication at the fingertips of promoters. Just before the world titles here in Thailand, we just finished the 2 years of development on our technology feedback system. And so we're going to be able to deliver great feedback to the national competitors, and that'll roll out in Season B this year. And we will expand this globally. And next year we already have events running in China, Canada, Fiji, so many countries who are coming on board.
Yep.
So our international events next year are just going to be really be much different.
Because America's going to be the biggest one, and that's taken off, hasn't it? You've got
So October 14th, I think, is our first event on the east coast of America. And America is a splintered natural country. I think there'll be over 50 natural organisations over there. So natural bodybuilding really needs to get some growth happening there. It's just splintering, it's not growing into it. And that's why something like we developed with a solid philosophy, a solid blueprint and technology for the drug-free competitors. I think they will really love that sort of foundation.
Oh, well, that was a good start anyway. We pretty much hammered out most of the questions I had for you. But no, that was good.
Were there going to be questions? I thought we were going to talk about it.
No, well, that's
for you.
Life experiences anyway. But we'll shoot over to you, Tony, if you want to tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got into the game.
Yep. Look, I started off just training in the gym when I was about probably 16 years old, which is a long time ago now. And I just loved it. The first week of, obviously when you first start training, you're so sore, you go, what am I doing this? But then it's just like bang.
You start seeing results.
You do.
People notice you're changing, you're feeling
100%.
better.
Especially being short and skinny didn't help.
That's it.
And I thought, there's got to be a better way than this. And so I started doing bodybuilding, and like you said, you start to see a bit of shape, especially the first 3 months. You see some great results, and and I've gone, oh wow, and then you start getting a response from some of your school friends, and they go, oh, you training now, and you go, oh wow, okay, people are noticing this. The ego starts to get a bit more.
That's right.
So I started going more to the gym, and then I started going to 5 times a week, and just it was just. Honestly, it was just one of the best things I've ever done, and I still tell young kids now. I mean, I coach football, and I tell them, start bodybuilding, or you don't have to look competition stuff, but just do some weight training and that. I mean, bodybuilding, a lot of sports have got to thank bodybuilding anyway. I mean, we taught them all the exercises and that, but we don't get the recognition that they all do, but that's part of it.
It's the foundation of pretty much everything.
It is, very much so. And I tell them my journey and how it changed my whole life and that. So anyway, I started in the gym, and then the gym owner goes, because I was from my town, and so I knew a lot of people in the gym, and they goes, oh, you're pretty popular, why don't you, have you thought of being an aerobics instructor? And I thought, aerobics instructor, isn't that just for, sorry guys, isn't that just for girls? And they go, no, well, why don't you do something? And I said, you know what, why not? I'm always about doing something that no one else wants to do. And I started doing aerobics, and I loved it. I really loved it. I combining the two together. Obviously, bodybuilders don't like doing cardio, but it was a good way of me doing my cardio, doing something I enjoyed, got paid for it as well. I thought, wow, this is even better, and doing my weight training. And then I could again see another change in my body. In that leanness all the time, you know.
Exactly.
And so then I started doing aerobics, and then I started doing it full time. But then it probably got too much. But then I was a sales rep at that time. And then an opportunity came for me to own a gym.
Right, okay.
And I thought, wow, imagine that, combining something that you just love and actually...
And then owning it.
Owning it as well, and being able to help people. So then I bought my gym. And then I heard about Wayne and his Natural Federation. And I thought, this is something that I'm right about. Against all drugs and that, and I thought this would be fantastic if I can support it. So I met Wayne and I approached him and that, and started bringing competitors to you. And at that time it was called Bell Street Fitness, and mate, you knew when Bell Street was competitors were competing because, mate, we brought everyone and anyone we could, you know, to go there and support them and that. And I was about supporting my competitors, so I gave them free solarium, I gave them free memberships, anything I could give them, I gave them supplements, the whole lot. I mean, look, it's a team, and if they do well, I thought, well, then my gym will get a good name, and hopefully that'll bring people along as well, and hear about what we offer to our competitors. And then we started winning shows, and it just took off, didn't it? It was Bell Street at that stage was phenomenal. It was between us and another gym. There were the only gyms that really wanted bodybuilders, because I can tell you now, Rick, back in our days, it started off in the early days, they wanted bodybuilders, and then bodybuilders, they break the weights, and they want heavy weights, and they drop them and all this, and people didn't want to have them in there. And it was starting to change towards more the fitness, and you started seeing all the fitness gyms coming up. But I stayed true to it, and I just loved the bodybuilding, and I got heavier and bigger weights, and they all started coming there. So it was us and Doherty's at the time, and it was just, everyone knew about Bell Street and Doherty's. They were the two that wanted and attracted bodybuilders. So it was great. And then one night, I still remember, it was near the prison there. We sat down and he spoke to me and he said, would you like to come on board? And I said to Wayne, I'd love to. I mean, there's another opportunity. This is what I mean. It all started from just going to the gym, and then it's amazing what it opens up more doors. That's it. And then Wayne said, I'd love to have you on board, and I like the way you work and operate. And I said, before I do accept it, I want to compete. I want to compete, so I know what it feels like. So then I can relate to yourself, like yourself, Rick, and understand the training, the diet, the whole journey. So I did that, competed. Thank God. It's a tough journey, but I loved it. I think it made me a better president by doing that.
You have a better understanding about what the competitors actually go through.
My word.
Well. I mean, you've seen it further as well by creating it from underneath. And seeing how it's all actually developed. So
my word.
If you want some tips, come to Tony.
Thanks, mate. And then so I did that, and that was fantastic. And then I accepted, at that stage, it was Victorian president, which is a big thrill for me. And absolutely. But what I did, because there you are, exactly. And so what out of that, because I came from the entertainment business as well, I brought in some things that I thought we needed to evolve and change at that stage. The federation. So I brought in the laptop where we were doing, because believe nowadays, remember, we had cassette decks.
The
cassettes, and they would bring it to you because the posing routine's in, and it'd be halfway through, and you go, you could have at least rewound it for me, you know. So because at that stage it was a Camberwell, and so at Camberwell, the music guy was right up the top. So we had to call it. I think I can't remember if he was at walkie-talkies or phone at that stage.
Making a lot of money, we had walkie-talkies.
Yeah, exactly. Wow. So it was really tough. Anyway, the guy would be on stage and set up in the middle. I remember those poses. They were
yes. They were good poses.
They were fantastic.
Bring it back out.
Anyway, and he'd nod his head like to mean, yep, because he'd say, do you want it on stage or off stage, you know? So anyway, you push play, nothing playing, and he's there, and he's there.
The worst thing, Rick, was that the guys would listen to the song one more time in the car.
And then
out, and then when we put it into play, it's a
goes from the end.
And we go, no.
There's nothing worse.
And he'd go, there's nothing playing. And he'd go, played the whole thing. I said, mate, is it on side A or side B? And he goes, I put it on side B. And I'd go, what would you put it on side B for? And not even have it ready.
So the shows would have went on for longer.
I honestly,
for that. Did they lose points for that?
No.
It happened so often.
It did. So what we'd do is he'd get him off stage and put the next competitor on while he's rewinding, because then they obviously it was double tape deck, so it was able to rewind.
They were all about it. They were already on top of it.
So we played that, and then CDs came out, and I said, why don't we put the CDs, rip them, and put them on a laptop, so we can play them through that. And it took the others forever to catch up with that. That was like, whoa, what? You know, so I could push it, I could test it for you and go, okay, Rick, is this the song? Yep, bang, done. And so that revolutionised the
made
change
it simpler,
made it very simple and
easier
a lot
ways.
better for everyone as well. And then so it became from that, and then a lot of other things evolved from that. But and then we thought our competitor numbers were growing bigger and bigger, and everyone doing a posing routine was like
taking too long,
and
too much time.
look, unless it's a really fantastic posing routine, everyone's just was doing the same thing, just a different music, and people in the audience are sort of like, oh yeah, okay, I've seen it, you know, after the 10th one, everyone's going, okay, all right, I've had enough.
Yeah, you almost need to split into 3 days.
Yeah, really did. Oh, one time we finished, remember, at 2 o'clock in the morning, because it just went, forever. That was the Olympia, wasn't it?
Wow.
Oh, and some Australian titles.
Yeah.
Because that yous were formerly known as INBA, yes?
Yes, we were, yeah.
So, we want to sort of touch on that next, is the name change and why it sort of changed, and I'm not sure.
Look, I've also to what I was just talking about, and then we also discussed it, and because we introduced models at the time, and everyone's going, oh, models, come on, girls don't train and all the, you know, the whole thing, and we're going, yeah, well, yes, they do, and they train very hard as well, and we could see it changing, couldn't we? And we're thinking, okay, models are really starting to take off really well, and it was a risk at the time, but we thought it was worth the risk, and again, we're talking about from bodybuilding gyms now into fitness, and we thought, well, this is how we think the sport's going to go. And Wayne and I both visualise and think about the future. We don't just today. It's, you know, I call them dinosaurs that still live in the past, and you know, I'm in my 50s. I don't know how old Wayne is. But I don't think like a 50-year-old, you know. I mean, you know me. I'm still like a kid, you know. Still like my PlayStation and all that.
And that's awesome. Again, we can refer back to you. Exactly the same as one of the boys.
It's about relating. To the competitors as well. And then 14 years ago, because again, seeing girls getting more into the sport, we thought of let's do an all-female show. And it was one of the best things we did, wasn't it?
Yes. And again, it's looking for a need, and the best way to grow is to look at your own weakness. And if you look at why I invited Tony in to join me and share my territory, is that for me to grow, you look at your weakness as you do as a competitor, and the weaknesses in my personality, you know, Tony had in spades. So you know, Tony is, you know, the best guy I could have out the front. He's a
representing.
He's a person of people, and I'd love to sit behind the scenes and perfect everything and get it right and nailed. So when you bring the two halves of a couch together, you get the perfect setting.
True. And that's what it's sort of good that you've realised that in your own weaknesses.
Yes.
A lot of people like to take it on their own, and that's when they fail, because they just haven't got that they won't let their ego go.
No, and they blame others for their weakness instead of thinking, well, maybe if I fixed it, I can. I mean, we bounce off each other and we work well together. Like Wayne said, he's great on the computer and getting everything ready. Or, you know, he sends out the emails, he does the whole lot, and that's just fantastic for me. And you know, Patricia and myself just love, as you know, meeting people and being out there, and really, you know, we go to all the posing workshops and that. I just love it. I love that anyway. You know, I love being up the front, and Wayne knows it. He goes, "You sure you don't want to get something?" Nah, I love DJing. I love doing the whole thing. I know sometimes he says, but you know, you can't do everything. You know, so I've sort of let go of a few things. So that's why I got Perry now doing comparing that, because at one stage I was doing the whole lot, wasn't I? I was doing pushing the play button on the laptop, the whole lot, doing presentations.
You had the set of drums on the back, and using your feet
running around.
And I had the little monkey clap in with the little cymbals. But you know, but I always say about it, if you're passionate about something, you just give it everything you got. You know, and Wayne and I, you know, 26 years or whatever we've been doing it, we just still look, ICN transition is just, we've just gone to the next level, and we just it's
Well,
just given us another spark.
Did you want to sort of touch on that?
Yeah.
So everyone
my
that watches
word.
this that doesn't understand why we changed the names to ICN.
Yep.
We'll sort of clear it up now for you.
Yeah. So with the organisation we were with before, INBN. INBA.
Forgot that.
We were there for 17 years, and the thing that with the group of promoters that I've got in Australia myself, we always look to improve. No matter if we run the best show, we always analyse how the show went, where we can improve it. And when you run a business, you always look for people who are going to mirror your values and yourself. And so I attract people who always, as promoters, want to improve their show and are never satisfied.
Yep.
So we, as promoters, were on a journey to always improve and grow. And we were doing that up as far as we could manually.
Yep.
And it was at the point where there just wasn't enough time in 24 hours to manage the number of members and competitors that we had.
Yep.
For instance, if you ran a big show, and back in the days, if you're getting a paper entry form, you spent 100 hours of entry data, transferring that data onto an Excel spreadsheet. And you're trying to read someone's handwriting, and there's mistakes, and and once you have a mistake at that level, it just multiplies. And so when you're at a stage where you've got 200 competitors,
Yeah.
and you have an entry form pile that big, and the competitor rings up and goes, "Oh, did I order at the DBT?" It might take 20 minutes to go down there, pull it out, and go, "No, do you want one?"
Yeah.
"No, I just wanted to ask."
Yeah, okay, yes, yes.
So you just lose 20 minutes. So it was, we couldn't grow any bigger, but we weren't big.
Yeah.
And so for this sport, I could see the limitation of this sport, that this sport would always, stay where it was. The great comparison is World Wrestling Federation against, Olympic wrestling.
Yeah.
One is this height, the other one's this height. You got to put in steps to grow. And so, automation and technology was what was a simple thing
Yep.
that was required,
Yep.
because that's what everyone in the world is generating to. And so we started building our platforms, and we started with just online entry forms, and then we got a complete platform. So, and with that platform, we then started growing at 50% a year, because if we have one competitor or 1,000 competitors, it takes us no more time.
Yeah.
Because the system, the computer,
It works.
it's like a banking system. It doesn't matter how many transactions they're having out that day, the system just processes
It takes it in, yeah.
So we could just grow 50% a year. And we were growing, and with that growth, we were delivering excellence.
Yep.
Because we have a system that would not allow a lower level of excellence and response. So now we needed to have a partnership with the organisation that matched what we could deliver.
Yep.
And without the system, without anyone else using our system, it was failing, because what would happen is that we ran these shows in Australia with our athletes. We were taking 100 competitor teams overseas,
Yeah.
and they weren't having the experience that they were expecting.
Yeah.
And it's expectation which really drives the competitor experience. And so we were talking to. So we were at a point where we were delivering a show using technology in Australia.
Yeah.
And the rest of the organisation wasn't. So the expectation wasn't being met by our competitors. And they expected it would step up a level at international shows, which made it more of a pressure situation. So we offered the system out to the organisation, but some people are afraid of technology.
Yeah.
They're afraid of losing control by having a computer system that you log into, and so it became a difficult marriage. And so in last year, in 2016, we offered some options, some solutions, and they weren't accepted. And so we were at the point where we also had other countries who, I'll be honest, natural bodybuilding world looks at Australia. They look at our event on social media, and they see what we do and what we achieve and how good our Australian competitors are. And the rest of the world wants to compete against Australian competitors, and they also want to know, how are you getting such big events with such big crowds and such great competitors? And we said, well, we do things our way, the Australian way. So we then were at the point where we would rather do it our way only or no way at all, and so we offered, to offer it around the world, we went to iCompete Natural or ICN.
Yeah, so you break the chains. So you could do your own thing.
Yeah, and you hear me talk about it all the time about experience. It's the ICN experience.
That's right.
And we're sending a huge team overseas. It takes 30 seconds backstage to register, get your number, where your foot is, and they go overseas and they're waiting 6 hours.
Wow.
And they come back and they go, that was a bad experience.
Yeah.
And it reflects back on us, obviously because they're our competitors and we're sending them there. So.
Well, I heard. Sorry to interrupt.
No, you're right.
Heard that a lot of pretty much a higher percentage of competitors over there were actually Australian anyway.
Yeah.
So you were going over there competing against competitors that you competed against over back home, but you had to pay to go overseas. So a lot of competitors that I have spoken to weren't happy about that aspect of it, because they're like, well, I can beat this guy back home. Why would I want to do it out there?
I think it was more obviously the thrill and everything to go overseas. But once they went overseas, they've gone, oh well, this is nothing compared to what. And Wayne and I speak about it so often, is that the elite competition like the world titles we just had.
Yep.
How good was it?
It was amazing.
And
it was like the change. Even the athletes themselves were just like next level. And it's you can't experience it until you're there.
Exactly. We were just talking about it.
Yeah,
and you didn't realise, but you'd won the world championship.
Yeah. It's like
I didn't
win, but I come first in my place, not realising that it has a world title to it. So it's like, take a step back and realise, this is kind of bigger than just your state.
That's right.
Like ICN's growing,
and you're up against different countries.
And making different friends from different countries. So if you do travel, you've got people that you can meet, train with around the world.
That's fantastic.
So I kind of can't wait to train and compete overseas. But, So I'm going to go with it. So it's going to be amazing.
And Wayne thought, why don't we do it in Phuket, Thailand? And as soon as he said that, because I've never been, and I thought, wow, the competitors are going to love this, So then obviously we've got Bali as well with the Natolympia.
It's big things coming.
Oh, it's huge, and the Australian titles at the Melbourne Fitness Show, and then our first ever Australian Pro Night of Champions, $50,000 cash giveaway. So we put our money where our mouth is as well.
I'm thinking about just doing it anyway.
Like I said to you earlier, I mean, you always hear me talk about experience, and the experience is all about is, number one, first what Wayne's created with the iCompete online. So you do that. That takes 30 seconds.
And
if you're slow.
the important thing is that you're in control.
That's right.
Entry. You don't have to contact anyone. You don't have to make a phone call.
No. And we've now even got iCompete successful banner that comes up that you can actually put on your Facebook, and it says I'm entering this competition. Again, that's part of that whole experience. But like I said, 30 seconds for you to enter. Then you come to the venue, or actually that whole week we're sending you emails of all the information that you need. Not trying to plug stuff or whatever. It's just information that you need to know.
Updating information.
So when you arrive at the venue, it's like, oh yeah, I've been here before. You know exactly what to do. Then obviously with the envelope, and you got all your details, and there you already know your number. So which is great. You go there, obviously Patricia welcomes you with a beautiful hug.
Exactly.
That love hug.
You know where you're
and
in
it's
the
a genuine
right
love
place.
hug. Try and get away from it. Then you go backstage, and we've got our backstage crew there with at registration. That's
hello.
That give you your numbers, your t-shirts, your caps, the whole goodies, goodie bags and that.
And donuts.
Yes, donuts. Then you got your backstage marshals that take you side stage and get you on stage, and there's Perry, myself, and the judges. It's not an army where you can't make mistakes. You got to be straight on. No, we're so relaxed, and we want you to feel relaxed. And then even if you didn't place, guess what? We want you to walk home and go, wow, I had the best time of my life. I really enjoyed that.
And everybody, well, 99% of the people have. And it's they all walk off amazed.
Trainer awards?
Yeah.
We've introduced trainer awards because they are part of your journey.
Yeah.
And they probably get all those midnight phone calls. Can I eat this? Can I eat that?
Yeah.
You know, that's part of it.
Yeah.
If it's not the trainer, it's your partner that's probably been with them most of the journey as well, and
whole
tolerated
time,
a lot.
Yeah.
And we get them to come up on stage
and feel
and capture that moment that you can't get anywhere else.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. And it's so family orientated, because I've been to a few other federations now. I have friends that do compete in other federations, and the feeling you get and the vibe you get from those shows are nothing compared to ICN. Like you're on your own in those worlds. Like even if you knew someone, you're the enemy. Whereas at ICN now, it kind of feels like a massive family. You'll go, you'll talk to the guy that you're on stage with, that you're competing against, and your best mates, and you're comparing good and bad points
my word.
before you go on stage, and then if you win or you lose, you come off best mates and you train.
Amazing,
So it's just a different.
And the other thing is also we're lucky at Moonee Valley. We've got the big backstage, and guess what? Your family, friends, girlfriend are able to be there backstage with you and really give you that support.
It's so big,
And they follow you on that journey throughout the whole show, from the day you start right to the end. And that's part of the whole ICN experience, and you hear me, we always say family, and it is. I had a fantastic private message on my Facebook from a trainer who's from another federation, but brought some girls to us at the all-female, and he sent me a message. He goes, Tony, I always see you put ICN family on there. He goes, you know what? When I came to the show, he goes, I felt like I was part of the family, and my clients enjoyed it so much, so it's a benefit to me as well, that I've got a great federation that I can put my competitors in that I know are going to have a good experience. It's not about just winning or not place, have a great experience, so it makes me look good, and I get more clients out of it because they obviously going to tell others.
Exactly. So
no politics.
Well, so constantly asked personally, and probably Tony as well, is on the actual testings. It's a natural federation, but how far do they actually go with the testings? We've seen that the winners now get a urine test, but whispers out there say that the actual test samples themselves just get thrown out. They don't go as far as ASADA want them to go. So I don't know if you want to clear that up for everyone that's watching, or what's to come, or the funding behind it.
Okay, so with drug testing, ICN, like within Australia, we have, I believe, about 14 positive or sanctioned competitors at the moment, and that has all been done through on the ASADA website. Now, so if we have 14, I think in the whole of Australia there's 35. So our little organisation has 14 out of 35 of all 300 sports or whatever in Australia. So when someone asks you, is there any drug testing? Is it all bullshit? I mean, we catch more than every other sport. So we have the proof. You can go on the website and see just how effective our testing is. And so with ICN around the world, we have 2 contracts with WADA labs that they go to. So I know with other organisations that everyone supplies a sample. At $900 a test, how many samples are you going to be getting tested? You're not going to be testing them all. So that is why at our events we can't test everyone, and it's a bit of a double-edged sword, because visually it's effective to see everyone go and do a test versus only 10 going to see a test out of 100 people. Think, oh well, that's not much. Well, when you have to pay for it, it's a lot. We spend over $100,000 a year on drug testing.
Yeah, wow.
So we send it off because it's important that it's called natural bodybuilding. That word is there. If you don't drug test, just call yourself bodybuilding.
That's right.
Just be a legitimate business and open yourself up to the. If you have business acumen, you could run a bodybuilding sport and open it up to both groups and appeal to them. We started this off. We halved our market. We didn't halve it. We just went down to a small section.
Yeah.
We grew it to now be the biggest part of the sport.
Yep.
And so it's natural for a point, and that's why we do drug testing, and we have two labs in the world that we have contracts with, and that's also a requirement for, as we expand to other countries, they don't know anything about drug testing, and we also give them a blueprint on how to test, how to ship. Very difficult shipping any fluid around the world nowadays. You need special permits and packaging and shipment.
Okay. I didn't know it went that far.
But you can bring 100 mil on an aeroplane, and samples fly on an aeroplane.
Would you say, like, from a few competitions that I've done, you normally only sort of test the winners of each category? Just to sort of
cut
it down a little bit?
Well, you got to get to the reality. If for instance, if you tested, this is a reality. If you test number 5, okay, and what are people going with? Oh, didn't even test the winner. Oh, they've gone and picked someone who they think won't fail the test.
We can't win.
Exactly.
We can't win. That is the problem. Is that the haters can pick an argument any which way you paint the truth. The liars can have a dance. So all I say is look at the scoreboard, look at the results that we produce on the positives that we catch, and go to look at any other natural organisations and have a look at how many positives they have. No. Or a couple. Well,
you've got to shoot off anyway, but thank you so much for stopping by.
It's been great to talk to a competitor, and mate, thank you for what you're doing for the sport.
No problem. I love it. And I want to see it grow. So, and getting to know how you guys come up, it's leaving opportunities for us to do the same and expand it even more. Because what are you going to do when you sort of leave this federation? Where's it going to go? You sort of want to spread it to a good crowd of people afterwards. So we want to sort of keep it going. All right, guys, I'm back home now. I just wanted to finish off with a few questions that I missed with Tony because they had to shoot off. So the fees or the prize money that you can get now ranges from up to $5,000 for the Natolympia, and then down from there. So in only pro competitions, so you have to be a professional athlete to win prize money. Fees, you generally sort of touch around about $150 to become a member for 12 months. Then for each category that you do, it varies from amateurs, $100 to $150 per show, per category, and then it can even vary up to being a professional from $200 to $250. Different states are a little bit different, but that's sort of where it's at with Victoria. And I think that was pretty much it. Like ages vary. We didn't touch on that. Categories, I'm hoping to touch categories with Vicky when I interview Vicky next. Hopefully that she's free next couple of weekends so that I can show you guys about posing criteria and what is expected when you step on that stage, instead of sort of hoping to fall into the right categories. So this will give you the heads up so you know where you'll fall best, and then you can go from there. But thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoy the ICN podcast that will be coming up more regularly. So I'll see you on the next episode.